really good podcast started extremely... Bobbi Althoff's really good podcast started extremely strong, gaining millions of views with unique celebrity interviews. However, in just a year and a half, her viewership has basically flatlined, with almost 300,000 people agreeing, "I've never seen an industry plant fall off."
Okay. Here, I had this take and people said I was being anti-woman at the time. I'll say it again. Her podcast relies heavily on being the one that's taken aback and awkward, where people have to feed the energy into it and be creative, right? And if you're asking every guest to do that, you're gonna get a lot of guests that can't do that. Most of them will. And then she got a streak of candidates that can't do that, and then she's just bored.
Harder than she did. Her career began on TikTok in 2021, making dry, sarcastic content on the topic of being a mother. She'd make only 26 videos before beginning the Really Good podcast, to which she'd adapt her dry, sarcastic style.
I think we look alike. Kind of, but not really. A little. You're like me in a different font.
The snippet quickly racked up almost 10 million views. The style was an instant success. This entire interview is like the calmest argument in history, and I love it. The snippets from her next episode went equally viral.
The clip.
It's like the guy from Hangover or whatever. What's his name? The guy, right? The bearded guy. He can do that, but he can do a lot of other things. The Zach G guy, the guy that said it, he can do that, but he can also do everything. So whenever this falls flat, he can continue on being funny.
Did really well on TikTok, so I was like, okay, I guess I have something here.
But it was the episode with Funny Marco that completely changed everything, because not only did the segments again pull crazy numbers, but the full episode gained over 5 million views without a single hate comment anywhere in sight. It's rare that two people I've never heard of make me laugh for an hour straight. This was special. This is hilarious. Marco has found the white woman version of himself. This should be a permanent duo. This is just the most cross-cultural, funny, awkward humor. People loved the honest branding of new episode whenever I can get someone to agree to let me interview them, the next of which being a very important person.
My video with Marco went very viral, very viral. Then Drake liked one of the videos I had uploaded and he followed me.
Bobbi therefore tried to get him on.
I'm gonna shoot my shot to Drake. So I was like, when are you gonna come on my podcast?
And he
said,
game right
yeah,
away.
he was ready to do it.
Landing Drake as her 4th ever podcast guest. From an entertainment standpoint, the episode was basically perfect. Not only had she landed Drake, who never does podcasts, but she'd done so in a funny, intimate setting, whilst keeping it calm and relaxed, to the extent that people thought they were just old friends.
The fact that you were so calm next to Champagne Poppy, because if I was in a bed next to Drake, I would be freaking out.
It therefore gained 10 million views in only 2 weeks, and added 700,000 subscribers to Bobbi's total count. However, as summarized by a tweet reading, "Drake giveth and Drake taketh away," Bobbi's interview with Drake began to ruin her reputation. During the podcast, Bobbi had asked,
"Am I your type?"
I'd do it.
Thank you.
And when Drake said that Bobbi should get with his friend, she seemed kind of interested.
If I could hook you up with anyone, it would be my dog Smigs.
Smigs?
Smigs. Smiley.
Can you tell me about Smiley?
Let me show you a picture of him.
Mm-hmm. Is he well known, or are you just a friend of yours?
The Funny Marco interview had a similar interaction.
Are you hitting on me?
You're not my type.
What's your type?
With Bobbi stating she started the podcast for the following reason.
To have a way to meet people, and the podcast, I was like, I wish I could have collaborate with other people.
Meeting new people likely wasn't sinister, but flirting with famous musicians seemed to annoy her husband, who filed for divorce only 6 days after she recorded the podcast with Drake. To make matters worse, Bobbi also admitted,
Let me guess. I'm gonna take a wild guess here, and it's gonna be rude if I'm wrong. It wasn't just him being annoyed. There's probably a fuck ton more to it, let's be honest.
I flew all the way here.
You did. I really do appreciate
on my daughter's
that.
first birthday.
You missed your daughter's first birthday.
To be here.
Regret that you'll never be able to undo.
Yeah.
Horrible parenting.
showing she was...
How is that CLM though? The guy probably has boundaries that are very acceptable. And some of these boundaries might have been breached, and then he chose to fucking not want to be part of that anymore. That's the opposite of CLM, you fucking loser. What is wrong with you?
kind of ditching her family for social media fame.
Is it kind of strange to anyone else that this woman who is married with children is constantly asking during these interviews with these rappers if basically they would go out with her, if basically they would sleep with her if they like her?
She'd confirmed the divorce in a TikTok post, with comments stating celebrity status always ruins the best things in life. On Reddit, people stated, she got famous and he stayed the same. Few marriages survived that, whilst the rumors likely didn't help. Did Bobbi Althoff cheat with Drake quickly became a mainstream narrative. Suggesting a conspiracy was when Bobbi deleted the podcast, with Drake and Bobbi both unfollowing each other on Instagram. Dave Portnoy from Barstool Sports therefore sent...
I'm back. If I say my thing about this, I'm cancelled. Legitimately. I feel like you can make a guess on what the take is, and it's the truth, but if I say it out loud, everybody gets mad. Okay, I'm gonna say it. It is more common that girls who achieve some level of fame will leverage that fame to climb that ladder using romance to skyrocket that ladder and get a way further spot compared to men.
Her a text. My girlfriend says you hooked up with Drake and got divorced. I am saying that is not true. Bobbi replied, I'm not commenting publicly but off the record. You're right, that is not true. She'd share the text to her story adding, I did not want to do this podcast in the first place, and now so much negativity is coming from it. I'm going to leave it alone after this, but this is the uncensored DM between Dave and I, although despite denying the rumors, the narrative was set. Bobbi Althoff left her husband a thought around with rappers.
Would you date someone that looks like me? Because there's just...
Whoa, who's that? Bro, why does he always quote the most diabolical shit, dude? Like, it's like if I made some expose video and I quoted fucking Fear Buck in my shit. Like, in a very thoroughly researched thread, Fear Buck says this. Like, it's the most, important to be documented statement out there. Bro, really, dude?
Husband a thought around with rappers.
Would you date someone that looks like me? Because there's just a person.
What does that mean?
Looks exactly like me. They have a twin.
Maybe.
If I had a twin,
Maybe.
would you date them?
If she was cool and
The damage this did to Bobbi's image could be seen on her husband's Instagram, with comments reading, sorry that your ex sold you out for clout and fame, after which everything Bobbi did became some kind of drama. For example, she'd do a podcast with Lil Yachty, with people calling her ungrateful after she said this.
I walked into his house and it was super awkward because he's really kind of awkward. He didn't even say hi to me. He's just sitting there with his two assistants, and then he comes up, he's like, oh hi, gives me a half hug, and I'm just like, hi, then goes back to his spot, and I'm like, dude, I don't even want to do this. I'm texting my friend Ashley, I need to leave, this is so awkward, I don't want it, what am I doing here?
She wants to make awkward content and then puts Yachty on blast. Shaking my head. Gave her a platform and now...
Yeah, I have to be honest with you, Chad, guys, I can't really hate too much on her for that, because I know what she's trying to do, a funny skit where somebody's doing something awkward or whatever, right? But this comes out as her putting him on blast and putting him on the spot and making him in a bad light. You can get away with making a funny joke out of this, right? Without making somebody take the fall for the joke. I'm telling you, there's a way to do it. There's a way to do it.
Puts Yachty on blast. Shaking my head. Gave her a platform and now she's shitting on y'all. See what happens? People then claimed that her fast rise to fame was orchestrated by her management company.
I'm pretty sure somebody at WME started help pulling the strings to set all this in motion.
Who also managed some of the people who appeared on Bobbi's show.
Well, you got a great agent, and you got a great agency, and you got great guests.
Bobbi simply trolled the claims, but there were other inconsistencies. For example, she constantly claimed that she was broke.
People think I'm joking about being in debt. I'm not. I put every penny I had into this podcast.
And told Mark Cuban this.
I don't have any money.
None?
At all. I have debt, actually.
You have debt? How much debt do you have?
$20,000 of debt.
Then further added in her Rick Glassman podcast.
Every time a credit card maxes out, I have to switch to another. I have 2 cards maxed out right now, so hoping to pay them off soon.
However,
if your podcast is this big, okay, if you had debt, let's be honest, guys, it's very kind of top heavy, right? If you had debt, and with a podcast this big, the debt would be fucking massive, or you have a lot of money. It cannot. There's no gray area. There's no in between here. If you have a podcast this big, because you're making big moves, you're either a lot in debt or you have a lot of money.
However, people realized she
So
spent
it's a lie. It has to
$500
be.
on Chloe sandals. She is not broke, she is broken. Also noting that her husband was a millionaire who had 170,000 students who'd bought his $43 course. Eventually, Bobbi also revealed that the podcast wasn't serious.
So when you interview these people, you're not Bobbi necessarily.
No, yeah, I'm just like a really dry person.
Deleting more of the magic that first made her interesting.
Wait, really?
We mentioned that when she first interviewed Marco, there were no negative comments. However, 3 months later when Reddit asked thoughts on Bobbi
How many times have I told you guys? How many times have I told you? I told you this. People that have like a gimmick and like a magic don't go on podcasts. If your entire internet person relies on some sort of mystery and magic, just like what was his name again? Playboy Cardi. His image relies heavily on that sort of thing. It's a good reason why he didn't go on the Aiden Ross thing or whatever, right? Because the more you give them that isn't that, the more it breaks down that illusion, and people are like, oh wow, this is lame, and it is lame, but.
Althoff, there
People
wasn't
like
a single
that mystery.
positive comment. Annoying ASF and not funny at all. I can't stand her, don't find her funny, and find it odd that rappers are always her targets to pick on like she's better than them. Gives me the ick. I watched a few of her interviews. I just don't find her funny or charismatic enough to pull off the shit.
Okay, you're not gonna pull some shit from Twitter and then pull some shit from fucking Reddit. Okay, Reddit is always, bro. When 1% of the population now hates something, these guys they will ravage.
I can see why she's
They're
popular,
miserable
though.
people.
This kind of awkward cringe humor is having a moment. Only 4 days after that Reddit thread, it was reviewed as the not so really good podcast, which stated the content itself is boring. The episodes also lack direction and a central theme, probably because they only consist of small talk. The podcast fails to deliver anything substantial or thought-provoking. Instead, it provides a glimpse into how celebrities behave in casual settings, which may seem intriguing to some, but ultimately failed to engage me. Another person said that Bobbi's podcast sadly points out how real hip-hop journalism has been practically erased, while even funny Marco began to critique her show.
With me, it was like, I think you're funny, Marco, but let me learn about you. Like, trying to figure me out. But now it's like the interviews, I think they're like, she's trying to shit on people. And when I watched the interview, also, I was like, damn, that was pretty bad.
As mentioned, she was plain disrespectful during her podcast.
Yeah, because you can be disrespectful if you're doing it like not on purpose, or whatever, and it's just an accident. Just like, hey, I hate to make myself the spotlight in this. When I was talking to fucking Bronny James, right? Like NBA player or whatever, right? And people were like, I cannot believe you told him to get a job, or whatever. Because I said, what is your plan in life? Because I didn't know that he was like set on being an NBA player or whatever. I didn't know.
With Offset,
so you can get away with doing this as long as you're not like ill-intentioned.
You need a little bit of seasoning. You ain't got no seasoning, man. You like a plain piece of chicken, just on the thing, you pull it off, and then you serve the dish.
It seemed this was where many people quit watching Bobbi's show, aided by full podcast episodes that were just promoting products. In the process, she'd also change her appearance, leading to criticism bad enough for Bobbi to respond.
I am so tired of all of the comments of people saying she ruined her face. The only thing I have done to my face is that I have a little bit of filler in my upper lip, okay? I do not have—
Wait, upper lip? Yo, brother. Dude, chat, guys, again, I don't want to sound like I'm anti-women. I swear, guys, I swear. Okay, chat, please don't cancel me, okay? Why is it that celebrity women, whenever they get called out for some form of filler or bald alteration, they have like 5 or 10 or 20, which is common as fuck. They'll take it like, either they'll say 0 or, yeah, I've had this. And they'll pick one thing, like some, oh yeah, I've had like some shoulder thing or some cheek thing. And they're fucking bricked into position. Like that? Like, yeah, I've had a little bit of cheek. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, bro? You can't move.
I've done to my face is that I have a little bit of filler in my upper lip, okay? I do not have cheek filler.
In a different video, she talked about getting other procedures.
I went in to get my zit injected and I left with Botox in my forehead, which, you know, that's fine, that's normal. I had lines here. I also didn't like that this would crease so much and I'd smile, so I got under eye filler. So I got Botox injected right here.
Which, perhaps unfairly, has only led to even more hate. Her 15 minutes are up. Bye, Bobbi. I am so tired of Bobbi. Get off the internet, boring. The last couple of months...
Lip fillers are usually fine, as long as you don't overdo them and it's like maintained properly, right? And it's like, it's something you engage in, you're responsible with it, right? Fillers are not a problem because they're not always massive or whatever, right? Whenever they heal, it's chill. I mean, heal as in like they stop swelling. It's fine. It's not a problem.
However, have been a...
Yo, this chat is bugging. You've never kissed some fucking hot, nice, bubbly, like sucky lips. I know you haven't, so you're not gonna tell me otherwise.
For starters, the style of the podcast has changed. The dry, sarcastic humor has become normal conversation, and all the awkward, quiet moments are often removed in editing. Strangely, however, this only makes it even more awkward and less entertaining as it feels like any other normal podcast.
How old are you?
Me, I'm 21.
You're 21?
Yeah.
Oh, you're so young.
I'm a baby still.
Wait, I didn't realize you were so young. I thought we were the same age. Now I feel really old.
How old are you?
I'm 26.
You're not really old.
This entire interview feels like they are making small talk while waiting for something. She'd also do an episode with Dax Flame in which she was way ruder than any other podcast.
What is something fun?
Yeah, because this guy can get away with it because this has been doing this for fucking like 20 years. This guy knows to have fucking pure actual autism, whatever, right? It doesn't sound like you're saying, wow, you're fucking boring, aren't you, motherfucker? Like, this guy will be like, oh, I'm kind of bored, whatever. And he'll get away with it because he's the GOAT. You can't compare, yo.
That makes interviewing someone fun for you?
Just having good conversation.
Okay, yeah, I love good conversation.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't tell.
This genuinely was not even an interview. This was like bullying the nice kid and making him feel horrible in any way. Then 2 months ago, she did this video here, which judging by the dislike ratio was yet another doozy.
And then I saw this video of a girl talking about how much she made from her podcast, and I mentally decided that she made like at least $300 a year on her podcast alone, and I was like, that's what I need to do next. Like, I need a podcast.
I saw how much someone made and thought, that's what I need to do. Wow, what a passionate and inspiring individual. Toward the start of her career, Bobbi joked, not more money though, and that's all that matters in the world, but it seems...
Oh, what is that?
Her career, Bobbi joked, not more money though, and that's all that matters in the world, but it seems that's now her actual philosophy.
I didn't grow up with money. I am on a lifelong journey to get money. I love...
Money's nice.
It's amazing.
Ever since doing the interview, Bobbi's viewership has significantly slowed.
You know what? She probably actually thought that would be like relatable, whatever, right? As in like people would jump on, oh yeah, chase the bag, girl, whatever, right? Because that's the illusion that people project, whatever. But once you actually get there, they hate you. So it's a line that you kind of have to be careful with it, right? This big is city girls up, get the bag queen, get the bag. Everybody has an attitude, but make no mistake, you don't want to be caught actually getting the bag and telling them about it. Nope. Chase the bag and tell them you're chasing the bag. Don't tell them you got the bag.
Her reputation is far from perfect, whilst her interview style has simply gone stale.
I want to show you this map of the...
Nah, today these texts are insane today. I think I'm doing Marvel Rivals like right now. Yo.